Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurinmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Yudapadakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagara Lalita Sri Vishakha Nidhamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudhe Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyacha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimad Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shuddhavadi Pachatya Rasaiditarne Mukam Karoti Vajalam Bangam Lingayate Girim Yatkripadam Vande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyam Sharam. And so now we'll start prayers to Srimad-Bhagavatam. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Shushrusho Sraddhadanasya Vasudeva Gadaruji Isyan Mahatsevaya Pra Punyatirtha Vishevanat Sranadam Sokatha Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtanaha Hridyandastoya Vadrani Vidunoti Suprasadam Nashtaprayesha Vaklesham Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishti Tata Rajastamo Bhava Kamalopadayaschye Chevedairana Vittam Stidam Sattve Prasidti Yevam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavat Bhakti Yogada Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sankasya Jayate Vidyate Hride Grandhi Sthityande Sarva Samsyaha Chiyande Chasya Karmani Drashte Vatmanishware. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Please excuse me because of my throat. I have to keep sipping some ginger tea. I hope it won't break out my cough. So we have already, in the invocation itself, we have glorified Srimad-Bhagavatam in so many verses. That is just by serving the devotee Bhagavatam and Srimad-Bhagavatam, and Vasudeva Katharuchi, that is, Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Vishayana. So it is like you have bathed in all the places of pilgrimage. Then Sranadam Sokatha Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtana Hridi Andastohi Apitarani Viduno this Sada. That is, whatever is undesirable in the heart is removed by simply reading Srimad-Bhagavatam daily. Then Tada Rajas Tamo Bhava, that is the influence of modes of passion and ignorance is destroyed, is made very less when we study Srimad-Bhagavatam daily. Tada rajas tamo bhava kama lopadayaste, that is all the lower modes and desires of lower nature. Kama lopadayaste. Then one is situated in the mode of goodness, and evam prasanna manaso, that is the mind so clear and happy. When you read Bhagavatam daily, Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga, Bhagavad, you understand the self, the principle of the Atma and your relationship with the Supreme Lord. And then Vidyate Hriday Grandis, that is the knot of material affection is cut to pieces, and then the jiva, soul, is liberated. Vidyate Hriday Grandis Chidyande Sinna Samshaya, that is Chidyande Vidyate Hriday Grandis Chidyande Sarva Samshaya, that is all the doubts are destroyed. Then Chiyande Jasi Karmani, that is even your karma, fruitive results are destroyed simply by reading Bhagavatam and hearing Bhagavatam. So this is what we recite daily. And if we are not advancing, if you feel that you are not advancing, then there is the 2.3.24, the steel framed heart. Why is it not happening to me? I've been studying Bhagavatam so many years. So here we have to dig deeper. What is it that I'm not having? Why I'm not properly advancing in spiritual consciousness. That is, it is the evolution of consciousness that we are expecting while studying Bhagavatam and in the association of devotees. So association is extremely important. That is, we have to take shelter of the devotees of Bhagavatam and study in the association. So we here are so blessed with Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Swami Maharaj, frequently giving his association and extended hours of Srimad-Bhagavatam. And we have even witnessed the Chinese devotees making so much progress, how in-depth their questions are. That is, if we ever see Surabhi Mathaji, I'm sure I will fall at her feet. What spirit? So this is the we have to work on our consciousness. Yes, it is Srimad-Bhagavatam has said we are the children of the age of Kali. So we are Manda Sumanda Gedeyo, and then short-lived. So we have all the characteristics of the age of Kali, but then we are blessed with the association of devotees. Then I will just read what I some short notes, some verses that I have. So how we are, how Krishna appears in the Srimad-Bhagavatam. First we meet him in Canto 1, chapter 1. No, chapter 1, yes. Wait 1 second. No, 1, 2. Sorry. So 1:7:22. That is Krishna is appearing with Arjuna. I mean, seated and with Arjuna seated in the chariot, and Krishna
Your
is
video is
driving.
again went down, Mataji, screen. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Krishna is appearing in the last scene of Mahabharata. The Kurukshetra Yuddha is being enacted. Then Krishna is Arjuna wants to chase down Achyuta, and then while Krishna is taking in that direction, they confront the glaring effulgence of the nuclear weapon he is releasing. Now Arjuna is very stunned, and he is addressing Krishna. So he is not suddenly asking Krishna, so what is that? How do we escape this? No, he is offering some prayers before asking Krishna the question. So he is addressing Krishna. Krishna, Krishna Mahabaho, Bhaktanam Abhenkara, Tvam Ego Dahyamananam Apavargosi Samsrite. So Arjuna said, "Oh my Lord Sri Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to the limit to your different energies. Only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries, everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only." So Arjuna, the great devotee, is speaking, that even though he is a great warrior and of much fame and many skills and astras, everything, he is turning to Krishna, saying, you can only instill fearlessness in the heart of your devotees. And he is representing the jiva. Bhava Mahadhavakni Nirvapna. That is, a living entity is lost in that flames of the forest fire of material existence. So even from that very first verse, how Arjuna is addressing Krishna. He is the Lord is the only shelter for the living entity. He can only make us feel shelter, give us the shelter or sense of fearlessness. Then 1:7:23. There, here Uttara is approaching the Lord. Uttara is running to him literally, and she is offering 2 lines of prayer before saying, "Oh Lord, please protect the child in my womb. It is please." Such an emergency request, but she is addressing Krishna in this way. Tvam Adi Purusha Sakshat Ishvara Prakrite Para Mayam Vyudasya Chitchaktya Kaivalya Sthidatmani. That is Tvam Adi Purusha Sakshat Ishvara Prakrite Para Mayam Vyudasya Chitchaktya Kaivalya Sthidatmani. So Uttara is describing the Lord. You are the original personality of Godhead who expands all over the creations and is transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. You are always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. So even in the face of very imminent danger, these great devotees, they are so conscious of the supreme nature of Krishna's transcendental nature, supreme and transcendental nature of Krishna. So then Uttara says, Pahi Vahi Mahayogin, Deva Deva Jagatpati, Nanyam Twada Payam Pasye, Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. That is Parasparam. That is Pahi Pahi Mahayogin. Oh, please, please protect me, Krishna. Deva Deva Jagatpate. She is very, fully cognizant of the position of Lord Krishna. Nanyam Dwadabhyam Bas. I don't see anybody else who can protect me in this situation, in this world of duality. So when we read through these many verses in the very first canto of Srimad-Bhagavatam, we can understand how the great devotees have come with Krishna, so that we get some education, we get a little insight into the nature of the Supreme Lord, His powers. And then, of course, then we have one second. And in Bhagavatam, 1:14, immediately, Sutta Goswami is saying, living beings caught up in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately. Immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy name of Krishna, which is feared by fear personified. So Krishna's glorification. So it's Srimad-Bhagavatam's glorification, because Srimad-Bhagavatam is Krishna in personal form, in the book form. So here we see even unconsciously chanting Krishna's name. So who is that devotee who unconsciously chanted, called out to Narayana? And we see how he was liberated, Ajamala. After studying the last segment of 5th canto, that is the description of the hellish planets, it's very difficult for anybody with ordinary mental courage to go through that section. Then in canto 6, we are immediately opening up to the story of Ajamala, and how simply by unknowingly calling out for his son Narayana, he is rescued from the hands of death or Yamaraja's servants, and Vishnu Dutas appear before him. And then Ajamala gets a second chance. He goes back to Godhead. So that's a beautiful story that is in the Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, by calling out to his youngest son, Narayana, come here. Narayana, now you eat. Narayana, you sleep now. Like that, the little child. And he's gradually becoming purified, to the point he is the Vishnu Dutas come for him at the time of death. So how powerful is that name, Narayana, or Krishna? So this is the glorification of the personality of Godhead. Even more hallowed is His holy name. So we have every page by page, we are experiencing this nectar of glorification of Krishna's holy name, fame, and his entourage. And we are getting fame to know the Lord. And then there is the glorification of of course, I think somebody already covered this 1, 2, 28, 29. Vasudeva Paradeva, Vasudeva Paramaka, Vasudeva Para Yoga, Vasudeva Para Kriya, Vasudeva Param Jnanam, Vasudeva Param Tapaha, Vasudeva Paro Dharmo, Vasudeva Para Getihi. So, in the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifice is to please Him. Yoga is for realizing Him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by Him only. He is supreme knowledge, and all severe austerities are performed to know Him. Religion, dharma, is rendering loving service unto Him. He is the supreme goal of life. So these are also very, it captures the heart and keep us focused at Krishna's lotus feet. Then of course, we have Kundi Maharani's prayers and the prayers of the queen, of the ladies of Hastinapura. They are all, gives us unlimited happiness just going through those verses. Kundi Maharani's prayers, of course, Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanacha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Nama Nama Pangajanabhaya Nama Pangajamaline Nama Pangajanetaya Namaste Pangajankriye. So she is the aunt, but she is full of stringing together these sweet words and addressing him as in so many parental affectionate names. And then we can see Krishna is Pankaja. He is a blue lotus. The description of his face, his feet, his eyes, his garland, everything is lotuses. So he is so beautiful. All these things, the glorification of the Supreme Lord. And the many personalities of Srimad-Bhagavatam, how exalted they are as devotees. King Parikshit Maharaj's birth and qualifications qualities we have read through in great detail. Then Prathu Maharaj, recently we were reading in the group at night. He is none other, it's of course an incarnation of Lord Krishna himself, and how he treats his subjects, how he teaches them Bhagavad Gita, and how he wants them all to be spiritually advanced. And so there are many Bhagavad Gitas in Bhagavatam. We say that Bhagavatam is the master's after undergraduate study of Bhagavad Gita. But we see so many Bhagavad Gitas in Bhagavatam. There is conversation between Kapila Dev and Mother Devahuti. Yeah? What a treasure of knowledge. He is teaching the entire Sankhya philosophy. Otherwise, how would we know what we are made of? We are made of the gross body, we know. But what is the subtle, our consciousness, the nature of the false ego, and then how to take shelter of the Lord and solve the problems of material existence. So that is really, and do not be in touch with the modes of nature. That is the, just like Bhagavad Gita teaches. That is the ultimate problem, which gives us material bodies one after another. So be completely transcendental. He's advising his own mother. And it's so beautiful, the question she asked, and that section. Then we have, of course, the great Ambarish Maharaj. Oh, we are at 8 o'clock already. Ambarish Maharaj is the greatest of devotees. And we can see by his every activity, he is engaging his senses and his intelligence in and all his powers. But he is such a controlled person. I mean, such a peaceful person. Even though Durvasa Muni tried to show his anger towards him, he waited for Durvasa Muni to return to take the feast, Dwadashi feast with him. So he is the greatest Vaishnava we can see in Bhagavatam. Then we see that how dynamic the Bhakti Yoga process is, how fast King Chitraketu, in 7 days, by chanting the mantras given by the sages, he was able to visit Lord Balaram. And in 6 months, our Dhruva Maharaj gained darshan of the Lord in person, met with him. So, of course, his young child, the severity of his austerities and his determination baffles our minds. And then there is even Pingala, the prostitute. She is also one of the gurus that sage Dattatreya mentions. Imagine the prostitute. But see, she is very, at the end of the night, she is turning within. Oh Lord, I have not befriended you. Thou who art seated in my heart. That is the source of my problems. That is the source of my, wanting anything from this material world. So the Lord gives her shelter right there. And so within, just by meditating on the Lord, even she is purified. So there is nobody who cannot take shelter of Krishna. Akamo, sarvakamo, mochakamo udarati. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. That is, if you are without any material desires or full of material desires, or even if you desire liberation, just your first duty is to worship the Param Purusha. That is Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajeta Purusham Param. That is, your Paradharma is the most important thing. Everything material will fall in place if you take shelter of the Lord and make progress in that endeavor. So who is who is more, revealing this, fact of, taking shelter of the Lord is the only thing that you need to do. His own friend Sudama, Sudama Brahmana, who had nothing to, even his family was starving, on the point of starvation, and still he refused to go see Krishna, who is the king and full of opulences. But at his wife's request, okay, he makes up his mind to go visit Krishna. And Krishna, the all-knowing Lord, how he rewards him, how he receives him, and the respect that the Lord shows the Brahmana. He washes his lotus feet and sprinkles the water on all over all the folks in his palace. He makes him sit down on his own bed. So, and he eats with much appreciation the flat rice that he has carried tied up in a torn cloth, and he was ashamed to show it to Krishna, but he grabbed it. So the Lord is all-knowing, and that is why he is called Bhavagrahi Janardana. That is, he knows what is it at the bottom of our heart. We want to say, okay, Krishna, I have no material desires now. I am all spiritual. Krishna knows how many things go through our mind, So he could reciprocate with, he could enact the role of each and every cowherd boy, and how they interacted with their mothers. So he demonstrated how he knows even the innermost recesses of our heart. There is nothing that could be hidden from the Lord. And then the teachings of there is so much in Bhagavatam. We can never be satisfied reading one time. Sorry, I have exceeded the time. And how much more can be spoken? And the powerful Brahmanas in the Srimad-Bhagavatam, they sage Angira and Narada Muni come. They simply call the dead son back to life. So imagine the power of the Brahmanas. And King Vena is not doing the Kshatriya Dharma properly. So the Brahmanas, by mantras, they killed him. Not only killed him, they churned his body, and there appears from their sacrifice Prathu Maharaj. What how the Brahmanas influence the state of the kingdoms. How they were always giving the guidelines, and how the kings respected the Brahminical authority, and thereby the civilization flourished. So just let me share screen, and if you would give me 2 more minutes, I will just like to share screen and read a little bit. Okay, 1 second. My goodness. Where is my... Oh, sorry, I just have to go to yes. Canto 12, chapter 13. Canto 12. chapter 13. 1 second. Okay. To conclude my words, time went so fast. So I just want to read a little bit from chapter 13 here. Okay. There. So Suta Goswami said, text 1, unto that personality whom Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, and the Maruts praise by chanting transcendental hymns and reciting the Vedas with all their corollaries, Padakramas and Upanishads, to whom the chanters of the Samaveda always sing, whom the perfected yogis see within their minds after fixing themselves in trance and absorbing themselves within him, and whose limit can never be found by any demigod or demon, whose limit can never be found by any demigod or demon. Unto that Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances. So this is something so profound, describing the Lord, just like in the beginning verse, Janmadhyasya, and the Satya, ending in Satyam Varam Dhimahi. So the Srimad-Bhagavatam is full of the description of the personality of Godhead and his pastimes, nectarian pastimes. So then let's see that it was to Lord Brahma that the Supreme Personality of Godhead first revealed the Srimad-Bhagavatam in full. At the time, Brahma, frightened by material existence, was sitting on the lotus flower that had grown from the Lord's navel. And then from Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vyasadev, and Vyasadev to Shukadev Goswami, the greatest of all sages. So we are hearing Srimad-Bhagavatam spoken by Shukadev Goswami to King Parikshit. So Srimad-Bhagavatam is declared to be the essence of all Vedanta philosophy. One who has felt satisfaction from its nectarian mellow will never be attracted to any other literature. Then 10, let me read 10, 16, 17, 19. So just as the Ganga is the greatest of all rivers, Lord Achyuta, the supreme among deities, Lord Achyuta, the supreme among deities, and Lord Shambhu, Shiva, the greatest of Vaishnavas. So Srimad-Bhagavatam is the greatest of all Puranas. This is from Bhagavata Mahatmya. Then, O Brahmanas, in the same way that the city of Kashi is unexcelled among holy places, that is Benares, Srimad-Bhagavatam is supreme among all the Puranas. And one more verse. I meditate upon that pure and spotless, supreme, absolute truth, who is free from suffering and death, and who in the beginning personally revealed this incomparable torchlight of knowledge to Brahma. Brahma then spoke it to the sage Narada, who narrated it to Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. Srila Vyasa revealed this Bhagavatam to the greatest of sages, Shukadev Goswami, and Shukadev mercifully spoke it to Maharaj Parikshit. We offer our obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vasudeva, the all-pervading witness, who mercifully explained this science to Brahma when he anxiously desired salvation. So I will stop here. It has been 12 minutes past. I'm very sorry about that one. So now, if there is any time, Lakshmikant Prabhu, do you want to extend?
There's a comment from Srivalla Prabhu Mataji.
Topic here.
You are the embodiment of sincerity as you have shown us. year after year for almost 3 decades. The warmth and affection of your presence is so spontaneous and from the heart.
I'm not able to hear you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, can others hear me? Or?
Yeah, we can hear Prabhuji.
We can hear you, Prabhu. Some problem, Mataji.
Everybody else can hear?
Yeah,
yes, but I don't know how to communicate to you.
Okay, let me see something maybe.
Oh, she can hear?
Yes, Prabhu, it is my speaker.
He sent in the chat, Mataji. I think Prabhu dropped, I guess. You are the embodiment of sincerity as you have shown us year after year for almost 3 decades. The warmth and the affection of your presence is so spontaneous and from the heart. Thank you. Thank you for your association, for your study for sincerity in reading Srimad-Bhagavatam every day. All glories to you. Please bless us.
Hare Krishna. Who said that, Prabhu?
Srivalla Prabhu Mataji.
Srivalla Prabhu Devam. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Mataji, if please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru and Gauranga.
Please accept mine too, Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mataji, you have glorified Srimad-Bhagavatam in such a nice way. It's like a template, everything you have covered so comprehensively, and really appreciate what you did. So, and I always remember you sitting in front of the Lord and reading Srimad-Bhagavatam, and so it's so nice to be patient. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
No, because of all of your association, because Dhanjay Pandit Prabhu gave me that, that very magnanimously, he told me, you sit here and read Bhagavatam, now I have to cook. Because he couldn't handle everything demanded of his time. So I was there and I started reading, but I cannot say I was so religious about doing that sacred duty every day. Many things have come in the way. I'm not happy, satisfied, but thank you all for your encouragements. And you are all such young devotees with such a high enthusiasm and love for Srimad Bhagavatam. If I'm away from Naperville, I will miss it. I have to come back here to feel the bliss and to, experience the association of devotees. I really love, our, Krishna given chants and how Lakshmi Kant Prabhu has navigated us through all these, years, starting from our this very difficult time of the COVID, and how I'm sure all of us have been tuning into Bhagavatam like with the same, love and interest, and that is with the wholehearted interest. So I appreciate each and every one of you for the spirit. It's very visible. Thank you very much. And Premanta Mataji, of course, when she gives the Bhagavatam class, otherwise she makes no show of her being a devotee. But when she reads Bhagavatam, she loses it. She loses her bounds, and it is like prema flowing in that. Similarly, I have been fortunate to be associated with the Prem Tharangi Mataji when she was here. I was in her Bhakti Shastri class, and now Shatarupa Mataji is, and Swansidari Prabhu taking it to all of Naperville. It's a revolution indeed. Thank you all very much. And Srila Prabhupada, they're reading Leela Amrita, and how, just like a householder with so many children or something, he was reaching out to each and every disciple, every center, and going through so much about real estate, this, that, everything, traveling so much. But he continued translating this Srimad-Bhagavatam before Srila Prabhupada's sacrifices. A person like me, I mean, he stands so up there. We cannot even, imagine his how transcendental he was. That is absolutely amazing story of a Vaikuntha man. That we just missed seeing him, but it's he's even today he's in charge of each and every center, every devotee he's managing. It's so wonderful to think of him. And our own Guru Maharaj, who is Oneness Swami Maharaj, Hare Krishna, to be in his sight, to be in his association, I think we are all liberated beings already. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much again and again. My humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Please accept.
I just want to add, my memory of you is also very much kind of like anytime in the morning, if I've ever come to the temple, I've always seen you sitting in front of the deities and just reading. And I've always admired that so much about you. You're, just, it doesn't matter, rain, shine. You're always, if your health allows it, you're there. So, I take a lot of inspiration and, I almost admire that. And also, like, you're such a loving, caring, motherly figure in our community. Always smiling, always giving hugs, always wishing well. So, we all feel very, very, very fortunate to be in your association. And you please give us your blessings that, that someday we may also cultivate this love and reading for Srimad-Bhagavatam the way you do it day in and day out. Thank you so much, Mathaji.
Thank you for your very kind words. Thank you very much. But I must tell you, in my initial days when Maharaj was talking about Vaishnava relationships, I tell you, in my Vaishnava relationships, I was like, what is it? I don't get a feel of it at all. Really, I was there. You won't believe. And later, how transformation happens, you understand, Krishna's family. And you are being a member there. I mean, that's your only identity, actually. That is, how I transformed, I can see that. Initially, I got no flavor with the Vaishnava relationships. And then it's simply, it happens. It's amazing how your heart changes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, this is Kiran. I just second everyone who was talking about you. I knew even before you got initiated, we were meeting at Premananda Mataji's house.
Yes.
And just to see you come, at such a high stage in your devotion, I feel like even if I had followed you a little bit, I would have I would have been fortunate to come along with you. But it's just very, very inspiring to see you, Mataji, in the temple day in and day out, with your smile, with your love, being there for us. For sadhana, really, really exemplary.
Oh, for me, you are a very hero.
Oh, Mataji.
Yes. How you have, brought up your two sons, and how you have those wonderful deities and hold Kirtan 24 hours. And my Krishna, and on top of that, you do a job and do so much, cook in the center, my Krishna. I cannot even go near you. Hare Krishna.
The energy comes from devotion like yours. So
Wonderful,
please keep
wonderful,
blessing us with
wonderful, wonderful.
blessing.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Really, Bhagavatam is, each and every verse we feel like reading again and again, and it is coming from the heart of a pure devotee, and we can only by reciting those again and again in the association of devotees, we can express our love for Krishna. Like Arjuna says, after, when he comes back from Dwarka, he's so immersed in grief because Krishna has left, and how he narrates each and everything in his life thanks to Krishna. And in that great battlefield, not even a hair on my head was affected because you are with me, Krishna. So such is his dependence on Krishna and trust in Krishna. Arjuna's love for Krishna. Everybody, for that matter, every character in Bhagavatam brings us closer to Krishna. Definitely, each page we read.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Chintamani. Mataji, I have a meeting, but I haven't been able to drop off because I think your session can go on and I can listen to you for several more hours. You're exuding the prema, Mataji. Just last week when Lakshmikanta Prabhu asked me to talk, I was like, I really have no attachment for the Bhagavatam at all. And just listening to you and the opportunity that I have to read with you, to be in your association, is just so.
Goodness, Chintamani Mataji. The way you recite the sloka itself, I fall completely. So wonderful. How you recite, the sweetness with which you recite the verses. Oh my God. Krishna. Hare Krishna. So wonderfully the way you read, and you give your classes, and you conduct our evening reading group. Everything is so wonderful.
I'm so fortunate to have you to explain to us. You are kind of my encyclopedia.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for all your words of appreciation. Now it is 8:25 almost.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm running out of time, but I just want to express my gratitude for you. And I, like Tamani Mataji said, I feel the same way, how fortunate we are to have your association, and especially in our reading group. You definitely are. You are like an encyclopedia. With whatever questions we have, you explain it so nicely especially for a young person like me, don't know anything. But
Krishna, Krishna.
Oh well. So,
let me reciprocate with you, Sangeeta Mataji.
Thank you so
much. You are a business person. You are you are our public relations officer. Everything, when you come to Bhagavatam class, you are so naturally a Bhagavata. That is what I like. That is what I like. Oh my goodness, she is a business lady. She is
that mean anything. Like
you're so naturally a Bhagavata. So wonderful.
I aspire to be like devotees to know so much. I really have.
You so love Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and the chanting, and so enthusiastic.
so much.
How you can integrate so many different things in a life. Very wonderful. Very
So
wonderful.
we're very, very fortunate to have you. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'm blessed with all your associations.
Hare Krishna. Sandhya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, honors to Srila Prabhupada and Shri and Srila Ranga. Mataji, I just wanted to second what every devotee has said. I mean, I couldn't even speak before, but that is still going on. So, you know, I think you're such a great inspiration for me, and because of you only, I'm telling you, I can read, you know, your enthusiasm and your dedication and your devotion and your love. It's just, you know, like what Kiran Mataji said, you're like a motherly figure to all of us, and especially to me. I have a double dose. You know, I'm so grateful for you. You know, that you actually asked even if we can read outside of Srimad-Bhagavatam. So I am so grateful to you, and it's only because of you I can read. Please bless me and keep, you know, I'm so grateful for your association and your love, Mataji. I can see the sincerity every time, and all the questions that we have, you know, you're able to answer in such a great way. As like what Chintamani Mataji said, you're our encyclopedia, right? Like every question you just answer so lovingly and so easily. I'm so grateful for your association, Mataji. Thank you so much.
On the other hand, you know, you're reading with you and your mom. You know, it makes such a beautiful segment of my day. Without it, I am even thinking Saturday and Sunday are little bit. You know, Saturday at least I miss, because Sunday we have. Even Saturday I miss reading with you.
I'm so grateful, Mataji.
So
it's only because of you.
He's such a young person, so enthusiastic, like. And you assimilate everything like it, you know, first time itself. You know.
No. It's
so
your blessings, Mataji. It's
so
devotee blessings only, like
so
yours. So
wonderful to know you and be reading daily with you.
Please keep blessing me, Mataji, and pray. Hare Krishna.
So inspiring. Thank you.
Can I take 30 seconds, Mathaji? Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, I mean, you were going on and on. So that itself shows, you know, how deeply you're meditating on Srimad-Bhagavatam and, you know, spreading the glories, Mathaji. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much. Yeah, such a wonderful personality, Mathaji. Thank you. Always so nurturing and, you know, yeah, I mean, I second everybody here, like whoever spoke. So yeah.
Thank you, Kalpataru Mataji. Thank you very much. You all are very wonderful devotees, you know, whom I have seen, like come into our group and, you know, really take each one's position with so much sense of responsibility. And I am here just to glorify you all, I tell you. I mean, you know, you have demonstrated how much service each one can handle, and that is the making of the ISKCON temple and the preaching and kirtan. How wonderful, you know, many faceted. So I am so little. Thank you all very much. Let us stop here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Lakshmi Prabhu. I am a nobody, a tiny, you know, but thank you all for the very lot of love and appreciation. That, you know, spiritual love is very important. That is what keeps the soul more and more, you know, focused, you know, pushing towards Krishna's lotus feet. So, I mean, we will never stop because it is glorification of Krishna and Bhagavatam. So, but we have to stop now, 8:30. You all have a working day ahead of you. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Vancha kalpatarubhya kripa sindhubhya vijapadanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Grandhraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All the Vaishnava devotees of Nepal, all the